Bill Snyder, it's time to overachieve once again. Mark Rogers TV ranking the schedule 70 all the way up to number 1. Our series has arrived at the 29th most difficult schedule in college football. It belongs to Kansas State. I am glad to see that Kansas State is going to play a decent non-conference opponent. So it's been a long time since they took on Auburn several years ago. They did play Stanford 2 years ago in Palo Alto. But they have signed a home-and-home with Mississippi State. They get the first game at home September 8th against the Bulldogs, and that definitely highlights the season for Kansas State in terms of a rare matchup that we see the Wildcats taking on somebody from the SEC, although they went to Vanderbilt last year and got tripped up by the Commodores 14-7 in a bit of an upset, playing a quality SEC team this time around against Mississippi State. All right, the other two non-conference games, typically what we would see out of Kansas State. Pretty easy touches in South Dakota to open the season, and Week 3 against Texas San Antonio. All right, let's get to the Big 12 slate, and as I have noted many times, both this offseason and in series past, in dissecting these schedules, the Big 12 is the easiest to rate in regards to the conference schedule because you simply play everyone. So everybody plays everybody. So if you want to look at it that way, then I simply rank the teams in the Big 12, and the team with the toughest schedule is the worst team because they don't have to play themselves. So they don't play the easiest team. So it's Kansas has the most difficult Big 12 schedule because they've got to play everybody else. And Oklahoma, if they continue to be the best team in the Big 12, well, they have the easiest schedule because they play everybody, but they don't play themselves, the best team. Other than that, it's generally the same schedule for everyone. So Kansas State, in addition to not playing themselves, plays everybody. So they don't have a gauntlet to go through, but they have two significant two-game stretches, back-to-back affairs, starting September 22nd against West Virginia on the road. Then they play Texas the next week, so that's difficult. And then after a bye week, they get Oklahoma at home, and then they have to travel to TCU. Actually, that's in Norman. So back-to-back dates on the road against possibly the two best teams in the league. They were definitely the two best teams last year in Oklahoma and TCU on the road. So Kansas State, to maintain contention in the Big 12, is going to have to win some big road games, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and TCU, and also Iowa State to conclude the season. So they get the 4-5 split against them on the road. So the teams in the Big 12 play 9-game seasons. Therefore, they have to play 4 at home and 5 on the road, or vice versa. So this is a season in which Kansas State gets a bit of a more difficult time on the road in taking on the likes of Oklahoma, TCU, Iowa State, and West Virginia on the road. It's the 6th most difficult schedule in the Big 12, puffed up by that Mississippi State effort at home in Manhattan in Week 2. Number 29 in the nation for Kansas State. It's our schedule rankings here at Mark Rogers TV. We invite you to make your comments about our schedule rankings and buckle up for our previews and predictions that will come your way as soon as we get done ranking all these teams' schedules right here at Mark Rogers TV.